What's up YouTube? It's me, Danny. Today I thought I'd show you guys how I make my chocolate chip cookies. All I do is follow the recipe on the bag for the chocolate chips with a few little tweaks. So I'll just show you what I do with mine. So I've already got the main ingredients in here. I've got the 2 sticks of butter, softened, room temperature. I've got the white sugar and the brown sugar. Now, one little tweak that I do just a little bit less white sugar. It says 3/4 cup of both. I probably do, I don't know, I probably do maybe a few tablespoons difference. I'll replace 2 tablespoons of the white sugar with 2 extra tablespoons of the brown sugar. That's the only difference I do. And then as far as my butter, I always use regular real butter, unsalted. So I always use that. Now then, one other difference is my vanilla. I always use Watkins. I try to get the pure vanilla extract. Sometimes it's not there, but I always use this, and it says to use a tablespoon. I would probably say I probably end up using or not a tablespoon, sorry, a teaspoon. And I probably end up using 1.5 teaspoons. Probably at least that much. Just because I like the vanilla. I like the different taste that it gives it. So, I mix these up. And I said that this has the sugar, both the sugars and the butter. I still need to add my 2 eggs. And I use brown eggs. I've switched over. I try to get the free range chickens, no cages, free range. I think they taste better, and I think the yellow is a lot more rich, has better flavor. So I've got 2 eggs. Put them in here. And mix away. Now in this other little bowl over here, right there, I've got my flour, my baking soda, and my salt. And instead of regular granulated salt or whatever it's called, the iodized salt, I've been using the pink Himalayan salt. And it's supposed to use a teaspoon of salt. When I use the pink Himalayan salt, I think it's got a stronger salt taste to it. So I use just a tad less. Just depends on my mood for the day, I guess. So there's that. And slowly add some of the flour. I usually end up doing about half and half at a time, just because of that. I usually end up wearing some of it. And since I let my butter come to room temperature and get pretty smushy, what I end up doing is after I get everything mixed, I'll put it back in the fridge for a little bit, let that butter harden up some so that my cookies don't flatten out so much. All that at the bottom. Easy doesn't, or you're going to end up wearing it. See? I wore it anyway. Make sure you get the bottom, because you know the flour, the dry ingredients like to stay at the bottom, or you don't get them when you get to the end of your cookie dough and you got a bunch of flour. Nobody wants a bunch of flour in their cookies. Big old chunk of flour. Nobody wants that. Alright, I think we're pretty well mixed. Now I use the mini chocolate chips. I don't like the big chocolate chips. Apparently when I went to the store, I didn't bother to check if I needed extra chocolate chips. So I'm gonna use the rest of this bag. When I make mine, I don't use a full bag. I don't like that many chocolate chips in mine. This is about not that much left. So I'm gonna use the rest of that. And then I did have a partial bag of some bigger ones, which I will just finish this off. Make sure it's just chocolate chips. See, these are milk chocolate. I don't like the milk chocolate. I'd much rather have this in my sweet minis, but hey, it is what it is. I don't even think I'm gonna put all these in here. I'm gonna check and see what it looks like. And I am making these because I have been off of work for 2 months from my surgery on my neck. And I know how my coworkers are. And as soon as I come back to work, everyone's gonna be like, you mean you came back to work and you didn't bring me any cookies? So guess what? Cookies. So they can't cry. And I'm going back on the 4th of July, so you know, hey, it works out. It looks pretty good to me. Wash my hands. And I did wash my hands before I started. Thank you very much. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to end up, I'll scrape this down, set my oven. The recipe says 350, let me look. I believe it's take that back, 375. I don't do 375, so I'm going to do mine at 365. And then we'll just watch it and see where we need to go. I'm just going to put my paper plate over the top. But I'm just going to stick it in the refrigerator. Alright. This has been in the refrigerator. Actually, I think I probably left it in there about an hour. But it's good. So, we're going to scoop it up. We're going to put them on the trays, get them in the oven, and then we'll see what they look like when they're done.
Do ba 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 do boo do a boo ba do boo boo ba do a do ba do ba do.
All done. Time for the oven. And like I said, I do mine. The package says 375 for 9 to 11 minutes. I do mine at 365 for about 13 minutes. But, you know, everybody's ovens vary, so it is what it is. All right, just pulled them out the oven. I ended up going about 16 minutes. Probably should have went closer to 15. I like them a little lighter than this, but we'll be trying one here shortly. All right, guys. Man, they're so good when they come out the oven. Delicious. Bon appetit.